Look at the moon.
Oh my god, this is definitely not normal.
Gave you a little double time right there. What is up? What is up? BTC community, XRP community, DLT community, crypto communities, Blue Crew, and all the communities out there. Guys, welcome to another DL Talk. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are. I hope it's going well. Much love to the Blue Crew, the Green Giants. Thanks for the support to the channel. Thanks for hitting the likes on the way in. Thanks to any new subs. Thanks to any new members. Just always grateful. Waking up with gratitude today, that is for sure. And thank you for all of you here in the channel. How you guys doing? We got Blue Crew jumping on in big time. We got Darcy in the house. We got Bobby Townsend. We got DN, Sniff. We got the usual suspects in here. We got Smelted Delta. Dude, the Blue Crew support is so strong. The Blue Crew support is so strong. And guys, thanks for chilling in the Blue Crew Lounge. Hopefully you guys are getting notifications for that stream, or you guys like know that it's there or whatever. You know, I appreciate the Blue Crew has been supporting it thus far and jumping in and using it as like a chat hub for the Blue Crew to Blue Crew. But, you know, we do our thing here on these live streams as well. We got Calculon in the house. We got RPM. Once again, much love to all of you guys. Smelted Delta, extra large money. You know it, man. Are you guys ready to look at the moon?
Look at the moon.
Oh my god, this is definitely not normal.
Look.
We are for sure. Let's jump into it. Let's start looking at the moon. Once again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a pro trader, and I'll never tell you what to do. Much love to the Blue Crew, Green Giants. I'm always wrong. The Blue Crew's always right. Let's keep it going. So we got BTC under 30K here. you know, still, they're trying to crash BTC, it seems like, to try to suppress XRP again, because they're afraid, man. There is an all-out, like, attack in terms of distractions, FUD, copium, all this stuff, man. The other assets are freaking out over XRP and XLM's ascension once again, and XDC has been doing some good things as well. You know, let's not sleep on XDC. They're in the same, you know, rooms with Ripple and, you know, tackling almost the same monster and stuff like that. The world of payments, right? The type of partners that they have. But when I say XRP in general, guys, I mean XLM, XDC, XRP, of course, like that trinity. So if I just highlight XRP, just know that I'm also talking about like the other cryptos that are federated Byzantine agreement or a very unique form of consensus, or working with banks, transforming trade finance or remittance or retail or whatever payments, the world of payments. That's what we're talking about when we refer to XRP, because at my heart of hearts, I am an XRP maxi, but there's a lot of other cryptos there that we do like for the same reasons, that they have fast transaction times, very cheap to transact with, right? Great user experience, right? Things like Solana, things like XLM, things like HBAR, Near Protocol, Algorand, right? Nano, Tezos, XTC, right? All these cryptos that have very fast transactions and very cheap to do so, and be able to send it easily, be able to get a wallet and set it up, you know, good user interface on the wallet, be able to send it right away. And it's been awesome with the Sum wallet on XRP. I sent some GDLT token to Sniff the other day in a giveaway, and we're going to do another GDLT token giveaway in this stream. So towards the end of the stream, we're doing a GDLT token giveaway. We'll be giving out one GDLT token to a lucky winner. I mean, there's 777,000 of GDLT token, you know, so one can actually go a long way, you know, given maybe, you know, whatever the speculation for GDLT token's going to be. I have way less than the community, so we'll see what ends up happening. I mean, hopefully this turns out to be the Blue Crew's store of value crypto right here in a way. But anyways, much love to y'all. I mean, it's just so silly, dude. It's just so silly to have like a token like that, and you know, just having fun with it and seeing what happens. But you guys are amazing. Anyways, what cryptos are up in the past 24 hours here? And once again, thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for hitting the likes on the way in. We got Solana making a little bit of a move, but it's not back to the all-time or that recent high, right? We're having like a nice little relief pump towards that. I'm interested to see where Solana is going to go from here. It does look really bullish, though. Solana does look really bullish. Like, we've already been, you know, being tigers here around $12, $20, right? Still amazing. You know, the type of, remember, Solana's, like we've talked about back in the day when Solana wasn't being talked about and nobody knew about it. We were talking here saying Solana has a legitimate chance of being, you know, that next level Ethereum killer type of project, right? Their unique form of consensus, the proof of authority. Yes, we understand that it crashes, but they're running a specific, they're like basically doing all risk with they're using a state-of-the-art coding technology that is really risky to be even trying to implement with blockchain. But if they can succeed, it could possibly turn out to be like one of the best blockchains easily that's out there, and, you know, far and away, right? Because of the big risk that's going on. So either way, we like how divisive Solana has gotten. We've been here since the beginning. It's kind of like we're just going to sync with it now. Like, we've taken profits at the top. We're still owning some Solana and just going to see what ends up happening from here, right? You know, so we're on this journey with Solana, but we like that it's still great user experience, super fast, super cheap to transact with, right? That's what we're looking for in a lot of these cryptos. Corium is up to 12 cents. Up 4% in the past 24 hours. Good to see that with Corium. Cypherium at $1.05. I mean, who knows what's going to happen here with Cypherium? Definitely a high volatility type of crypto, but there has been some recent FUD on it, right? And, you know, it's a divisive crypto. You're not really getting good enough proof of the type of partners that they're working with. Sure, you're seeing like pictures of him inside meeting rooms or meeting with these people, but it's not like Cypherium's just not really well advertised or well marketed then for that reason. They're still such a small project, but, you know, really flexing big time, saying that they're going to be, you know, a financial system type of crypto here. Alex Yeet in the chat. What's up, Alex Yeet? G, it's hot in Compton, bro. I bet, man, dude. It's hot everywhere, bro. LA is a terrible place to be right now. It's so hot. I mean, it's great weather, don't get me wrong. But damn, dude, during the day, it burns. Like, you step out and your skin's burning. G, will you go live during the FOMC? What is that? Right, guy, what is that, my man? Stop blowing smoke our way. I gotcha. Dude, yeah, it's hot. It's definitely hot over here in California on the west side. It burns, dude. Might be it's a, you know, it's a great reason to keep staying inside. That is for sure. It's so hot out there. Might be a collector's token to commemorate Blue Crew. There we go. It could be whatever you guys want it to be. You guys own way more than I do. You guys own way more. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. There we go. The Fed meeting today, happening today for rates? No way. Do you have a link to it? Federal Open Markets Committee. If you got a link to it, share it. We could stream it today. Or we'll try to stream it today. Let me see. Deanne, thank you, man. Thanks for being on it. Shout out to the Blue Crew. You guys teach me so much as we do these streams as well. Let me open that up in a new tab. Oh yeah, I forgot the background music. Here, let's get the background music on. There we go. That's not a stream link though. Okay, got it. So this is just news about it. So the FOMC makes an annual report pursuant to the Freedom of Information Act, right? Provides information about the status of the FOIA, requests the FOIA process, right? So you're having that today, July 25th through the 26th. And it looks like there's a big meeting today. I don't know. Maybe we'll try, man. We'll try. We'll see if we can do it. What time is it at? Does it start at as well? But anyways, you know, no other cryptos really up big time in the past 24 hours on the Blue Crew top 100 right here. Kin showing a little bit of a revival, but we've seen this as high as like, you know, 4021 recently. I have a little bit of Kin. We'll see what happens with Kin. Why not? Let's see what happens with this freaking Kin. You know, Blue Crew, you know, as much as we love XRP, we love these like multiple zero type of tokens and just throwing like $5, $10. I mean, some of y'all probably $100 or something like that, right? And just seeing what these cryptos could do, especially like the ones I'm excited for that are in the major zeros are things like SHX, Aqua, and XPX, right? Proxima X. Those are 3 triple-digit zero cryptos that I'm excited for that check a lot of boxes, right? They seem way undervalued. Kin, pretty interesting. We'll see what ends up happening. They've been around for a long time, though, right? Kin has just found a way to continue to survive. That's what I'll say. Kin just keeps finding a way to continue to survive. I see a huge pump coming. Change my mind. Smelted Delta it. Hey, man. I love the bullishness. Why not? Let's get it. Let's get it, dude. Casino coin and the XRPL as well. Exciting times ahead, without a doubt. And the Blue Crew's Blue Castle, the SHX token. Right, we'll see what ends up happening with SHX. I would love to see SHX touch 001, 002. Hell, we can hit 003 with SHX and we're nowhere near the all-time high. That's how crazy the high volatility could be here with Stronghold. So we can hit 003 or even 005, but I'm going to say 003 is a strong point of resistance there initially. But yeah, if we can hit 003, 005, that'll be out of this world. And then Smelted Delta last night shared with us this website, marketcapof.com. And, you know, just for fun, let's not get too hyped about this, but this is, you know, you got to love it for the Blue Crew and the Stronghold token right here. If Stronghold had the market cap that Bitcoin has today, Stronghold would be $105. If it had the market cap that, let's say, XDC does today, it would be 14 cents. That's not bad. 14 cents is still amazing, you guys. And that's just with the market cap of XDC, right? What's another like low cap crypto that we could say if it had the market cap of? How about the Atom token? Just Atom, right? It'd be 48 cents with the market cap of Atom. How about Algo? 15 cents with the market cap of Algo. So I'm interested in the range of, you know, the possible outcomes here. We believe this is a real boat. We think this is highly undervalued for a crypto. It's associated with Stellar and Ripple. They've been building on the XRPL. They've been building on the Stellar blockchain, right? They may perhaps very well have like the first working samples of stablecoins with enterprise companies like IBM, right? So let's see what Stronghold can bring, man. I don't want to overhype this one too much, but we might have found a gem here, Blue Crew, and we've been following this one since its beginnings, right? GDLT, why is Doug Lackey gray? He's asking a question up there. Oh, sorry if I overlooked it. Sometimes the Blue Crew takes over the chat. Let me see, and we end up passing over some people here. Let me see where Doug Lackey is. Where is he at? I don't see him. Doug, don't be shy, man. Jump back in, Doug. Let me see, because I don't see your name. Oh, here we go. So Doug Lackey, do you know with the reconstruction process in Iraq, if their government plans to pair their currency with XRP? Actually, I've heard there's been examples. Well, this is not in Iraq, but in Saudi Arabia, apparently they've been using XRP on a very small scale for people's payments. Like on receipts, you'll see that it'll say in very small print, paid with XRP or processed through XRP or something like that. Doug Lackey. So you're right. Like we have some news about Republic of Palau, by the way. Huge news for Ripple and XRP. We got to get into the news now, you guys. But Doug Lackey, great question. I don't know too much in terms of the process in Iraq and what's going on there, so you can enlighten me on it if you'd like. But if their government plans to pair their currency with XRP, I wouldn't be surprised. It'd be surprising if they were the first country to want to do that, right? And remember, the IMF said the only way the IMF would add something like a digital asset into their basket of currencies like XRP. By the way, also, we talked about Mission Impossible yesterday, and all the XRP references, they mentioned the IMF as well. They talk about crypto multiple times in that movie. They talk about blockchain, a great technology that's going to change the world. They literally say this. They say a great technology that'll change the world, and then paying in cryptocurrencies, blockchain encryption, crazy stuff. But nonetheless, so if Iraq were to pair their currency with XRP, that may allow the IMF to add XRP to their basket of currencies. They said if a country designates this digital asset as legal tender in their country, it is going to be eligible to be part of the basket of currencies for IMF. That's that like really big, you know, kind of meme type of thing of Brad Garlinghouse where he goes, IMF to custody digital assets. You want to take this one? And then he starts getting like shy and he's like, I'm from the legal department, so I'm not supposed to talk about these things, right? That clip. Yeah, they say in order for us to the IMF to custody digital assets is for there to be, right, it to declare that currency as legal tender, right, in that respective country. So let's go into the news with that. Moving on. What's up, full of XRP? Appreciate you tuning in. We got Ani Brito in the house. What's up, Ani Brito? RPM. SHX on XLM doing stocks in metals, etc., etc. Dude, yeah. And tackling the small businesses, right? Helping small businesses kind of catch up and get ahead of the game as well. And I think SHX rewards tokens are going to actually be playing a big part of that, because then you're helping like businesses, even like because you're using that strongholds, you know, stronghold pay and using the stronghold USD, you'll be earning rewards in SHX, and then with those rewards you can use it to offset fees or make more purchases. Excuse me. Make more purchases within the ecosystem, right? And then just, you know, it's kind of keeps it like Like it's a wonderful circle that goes along. You keep using Stronghold USD, you get benefits of SHX, so on and so forth. It keeps making you, you keep wanting to use that business. And also, like, outside of those incentives alone, you're getting a great payment experience. Crawfish XRP, what's up, man? Good to see you. Alex Yeet. They're all moving to crypto. They are preparing themselves. Dude, isn't this funny, man? People are so desensitized, right? It's like we're not taking the news seriously enough, in my opinion. But, who am I speaking for as well? Who am I saying is not taking the news seriously enough? Maybe I got to stop focusing on them. But nonetheless, we got the Blockchain Regulatory Certainty Act being announced right here. Tom Emmer, let's check this out, guys. Let's check out this clip. We got a lot of great news, guys. Like, remember, Fed now has gone like since XRP clarity, cryptos have lost their shit. Maxis are trying to find ways to cope. Other cryptos are trying to find ways to cope and make their own, illusions that, oh yeah, now that XRP's got clarity, we should be able to get clarity because we're kind of similar, right? Yeah, but you're not similar. That you don't have federated Byzantine agreement, right, as your form of consensus. You're not similar like that, right? Your proof of stake, most likely. And, as we've seen from David Schwartz mentioned before, the best incentive is no incentive. Just have the damn good technology, right? Don't be, a lot of these techs are developing way too quickly and trying to push ahead and, cutting corners. I think Ripple's been doing it right. I think XRPL has been doing it right. But it's funny, we get XRP clarity, the crypto space starts going nuts, starts fudding it. Hell, even XRP holders start overthinking because they're like, it should have gone higher after that XRP clarity, right? Like, they're starting to trick themselves out of their own investment again. So somehow the FUD got built up despite XRP's increase in price. And mind you, if Ethereum would have gone from $1,800 to $3,600 or $4,000, the whole crypto space would just be joyous and everybody would be celebrating. There would be no FUD, right? But of course, XRP goes from 47 cents to 95 cents and the whole crypto space goes crazy. They just don't know how to process it. They're like, wait, what? You can make money off XRP? No, that just means we're going to make way more money off all these other cryptos, right? And then you get the launch of Fed Now that happened, right? You get the launch of X.com, you get the launch of WorldCoin, you get the launch of this Blockchain Regulatory Certainty Act, you get the launch of the Russian CBDC on August 1st. Tsunami is coming, dude. A tsunami is freaking coming. This is the XRP revenge tour, and we got front row seats here, y'all. We got front row seats here. Let's hear what Tom Emmer's got to say as part of the show. Here we go.
Hopping off of our hockey soapbox this week, I wanted to talk about something that may be flying under everybody's radar. Today, our nonpartisan legislation, the Blockchain Regulatory Certainty Act, is going to be marked up in the Financial Services Committee. Crypto and blockchain technology provide an important opportunity for our country to lead in the digital asset space. I commend Chair McHenry for moving forward with this. Today, we've got an important opportunity to make progress towards providing regulatory certainty that benefits consumers and fosters innovation, right?
Let's go. Let's freaking go, guys. After XRP gets clarity, all this stuff is rolling out. But no. Let's keep, oh, it just means that the rest of the crypto space is going to be okay. It just means that, oh my gosh, man. I just love hearing this. I just love hearing this from Tom Emmer and what they're introducing and the type of the other news we're going to be hearing today as well, guys. Like, freaking exciting stuff, man. What a way to start off this week. I'm excited to see where we're going towards the weekend, but obviously the weeks ahead are, the rest of the year, everything, dude. The show has begun. XRP got clarity. Get ready for a freaking tsunami of just events like these, man. All this crazy stuff building towards this internet of value now, right? We got the launch of ISO 20022 earlier this year. We got the launch of Ripple's CBDC platform, Overledger Network, XDC doing their thing, XLM doing their thing, Sorabon smart contracts, Hooks smart contracts, all these developments. Guys, we're getting closer and closer to that internet of value. Amazing times ahead, but let's keep it going.
Right here at home. This bill specifically deals with what blockchain-related entities qualify as money transmitters across the country. Major discrepancies in the state-by-state framework on this issue have stifled innovation and confused the marketplace on how to comply with money transmission requirements. The Blockchain Regulatory Certainty Act will clear things up by affirming for the blockchain community that if you don't custody consumer funds, you aren't a money transmitter. It's simple, but very important. A clear and consistent regulatory landscape will ensure we do not drive this transformative technology overseas or drive American consumers to bad actors. This bill will allow blockchain innovation to flourish right here in the U.S., and I look forward to continuing to work with my colleagues on the committee to get it over the finish line.
And that is wow, what a simple perspective. He's like, you guys aren't considered money transmitters if you're not custodying those assets, right? It's very simple, right? So whoever's custodying, their cryptos, or, if you're a blockchain business and you created the block, or, what I'm saying here is like, he's provided a very clear perspective of what it is. It's like, hey, if you're a blockchain business and you're custodying these assets, or you're custodying users' assets, right? Then you're considered a money transmitter. You got to go through the regulatory, necessary things in order to be approved as a money transmitter, right? But if it's just the technology and you're not custodying other users' funds, then you shouldn't be considered a money transmitter, and you should, that blockchain should be, free to do what it does, right? So that makes me that makes me really bullish on a lot of these cryptos, obviously. I mean, 99% will go away, right? But that still leaves like a good, 100 perhaps? Like, how many blockchains are out there, So is it going to be 10? Is it going to be top 20? Is it going to be a top 50 of blockchains? Hell, we got the internet of blockchains building out, so they're expecting that it's just going to be a universe of blockchains, that'll just be endless blockchains. Right? We'll see what ends up happening, man, but crazy stuff ahead. The tsunami's coming, man. Big wave. Let G custody your likes. There we go. Tom is the only politician I've ever donated to. Hey, man, he's like, hey, I got my bags loaded up already, and now that we got freaking XRP clarity, let's get this show on the road. Guys, we're almost to 20 likes. Appreciate the 22 viewers. Shout out to all of y'all. Thanks for the support to the channel. It helps us out a ton. Helps us keep doing what we're doing here, and that's talking with the Blue Crew. And the Blue Crew bringing it today, man. You guys are, Medico, BIS's AMM. There we go, right? Dude, that Medico acquisition a lot of people are sleeping on and was clutch as hell, right? It's also the amazing confidence that Ripple has to acquire a company for $250 million, right? While there was like no clarity for XRP, while there was it looks like it's a clear win here for Ripple, you guys. And people are saying that the SEC may not appeal. I don't know if that's going to be true or not. But if that's the case, guys, I mean, it's wheels freaking up in terms of the tsunami, in terms of Ripple just taking over, right? Ripple has just been really nice with their fellow like blockchain companies. They're like, hey, yeah, you're doing your thing, we're doing our thing, that's cool. Oh, you seem like a good technology, let's collaborate. Okay, yeah, nice, right? But now they get the regulatory clarity. They're like, okay, it's time for us to kind of, should we all step it up now? Can we get ready to go into the next level of what this crypto space should be, right? A multi-trillion-dollar asset class, right? Trillions upon trillions. Kathy Wood saying 1 to 25 trillion in the next 5 to 7 years. A tsunami's coming, man. AMM, ODL, Interledger, RippleNet. The spices that make the power puff girls. Exactly. I love that Inspector music. AMM, ODL, Interledger Protocol, RippleNet. The spices that make the Powerpuff Girls. Sugar, spice, and everything nice. That's a trinity too, right? It was 3 Powerpuff Girls. It's 3 ingredients that make it happen, right? It's the 3-ring circus after all. anyways, enough speculation. Let's keep going with the news. We got some more bullishness coming. So, response from Perianne. Today, the U.S. House of Representatives is making up the Financial Innovation and Technology for 21st Century Act, a bill that will position the U.S. to lead in the development of blockchain technology. Guys, we're getting moves from not only, let's see what's going on here with, you know, Tom Emmer here. We're getting the U.S. House of Representatives stepping in. And then let's check out this from Congress here from XRPville. Shout out to XRPville and the fire that he brings to the chat. Here we go.
Congressman, you alluded there to SEC Chair Gary Gensler, who obviously was dealt a bit of a blow in court recently in regard to the Ripple case and whether XRP was indeed a token, the court ruling that it is not when sold to retail investors. Do you think court decisions like that build momentum in Congress toward making this delineation, deciding what the SEC ultimately has authority over?
It is stressing the urgency for Congress to react.
Let's go. It is stressing the urgency. It has sped up some things. Guys, there's a... Dude, after that XRP clarity, all these crazy events happening afterwards, man. Get ready, dude. The campaign has begun.
The courts, depending on which court it is, depending on which judge it is, depending on the nature of the case put together, you get a variety of results. That's not just in these issues, but all issues. It reinforces the fact we need to provide some certainty. We'll see if we're capable of starting that process this week. Again, I give my
starting that process this week. Let's go.
Full committee chairman McHenry and GT Thompson much credit for getting us to this point. But it's a big boulder we're pushing up a tall economic and political hill.
By the way, guys, let me know if the video quality and audio quality and this whole stream quality is coming through for y'all all right. I appreciate the viewers, appreciate the likes. Thanks to any new subscribers and thanks for the support. But yeah, this is stressing Congress to react. It's funny that this case with XRP, right, and Ripple is what's making Congress react quickly, giving them that urgency. It's not Bitcoin. It seems like Bitcoin they didn't really need to stress or, you know, accelerate their reaction with Bitcoin, but with the XRP clarity, they're like, oh crap, we need to make sure we get clarity on this space now, right? Pretty funny, because supposedly Bitcoin's had the clarity and then Congress has just been sitting on their ass. But now that XRP gets clarity, it's like, oh dude, we need to freaking regulate this thing right away. Does anyone know where I can actually see the actual text of the proposed bill? Interesting. Good stuff, RPM. To say bad actor indicates that they are good actors, but any kind of actor is bad. There you go. They're all actors, right? Even these people on here are actors. All right. Humbled to be selected as a finalist for the best real-time payment solution by FinTech Futures. It's time for some exciting news. We've just announced the shortlist for upcoming PayTech Awards USA. Finalists announced, so Volante Technology, guys. It seems like they keep ending up as finalists or winning awards for their tech, and maybe it's something to do with Ripple and Volpay, their Volpay solution, right? Volante Technologies, man, we're keeping up with them without a doubt. I haven't given this a try just yet, but I thought it may be interesting because I've been like, I love poker. Don't get me wrong. I'm like a poker player. I like poker. I like blackjack, right? So if there's like an XRPL blackjack place or poker place, and once again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a pro trader. I'll never tell you what to do. This is not financial advice. Advice. You might need to check it twice before you can decide. This is not financial advice. But much love to y'all. Gee, are you telling us what to do? No, I'll never tell you what to do. I am always wrong and the blue crew's always right. But I've been looking at this XRPL Poker Club on rnr.poker. Hell yeah, man. If you can use Casino Coin or XRP with this, I'm down. I think it would be a bad idea, obviously, because this place will probably suck out all your XRP that it possibly can. With, you know, if you're playing against an AI, good luck. You're going to probably lose most of the time. But if you're playing against other, you know, type of poker players who are actual users, then yeah, man, I mean, you could probably make some, you know, who knows? Yeah, poker and CSC. Dude, I'm down. Like, we can maybe, like, I don't know if it's probably good to do this on live streams with the XRPL community, but you know, trying to find like our own little thing. Like I would love to do this with other Blue Crew, right? Like have a room or a poker table with other Blue Crew there. That would be dope. So full of XRP, R&R is player versus player. Let's go full of XRP. I can't wait to check this out, man. And once again, I'm not trying to get anybody else to jump in on this. I'm just, you know, once again, I share like, this is like a blog for me in a way. It's like I'm just sharing what I'm coming across in the crypto space, and maybe some people like it, maybe some people don't. I thought it was cool because I would love to do like some casino coin type of stuff, like with poker or blackjack. That would be great, especially against other players. That'd be amazing. You can add R&R to your Discord. There we go. Full of XRP. That's a good point. Yeah, we can, I mean, that's how we can do it for, or I could just post the link in Blue Crew Lounge as well, right? But what do you mean you can add R&R to your Discord? Like you add the game and it's like a game within your Discord or something like that? Full of XRP? Anyways, I don't want to spend too much time on that, but rnr.poker, I'm going to probably give it a try. I'll let you guys know what I think about it. Hopefully it's better than bc.game. bc.game is like the worst crypto casino, man. It'll get you excited and then you just stay in there and then it sucks out all your value. Gee, definitely a groomer, always telling us what to do. Oh no, Miles P. Oh no, man, I'm going to get canceled very soon, man. You know what? There's going to be like a large cancel campaign on this channel when we moon, right? There'll be like, this guy, how the hell did we let this guy, you know, fly under the radar for so long, telling people about XRP, XLM, XDC, and SHX for so long? Especially the SHX part. Did you see that SHX went to $105? And this guy was talking to them about it at 000 300. Cancel him now. You can host a Blue Crew poker game. There we go. Full of XRP. You know what? We should do that like once a week, a Blue Crew poker game. I'd be so down. If you guys are into that type of stuff, then, you know, let me know. Let me know. Brendan Dobbins, what's up, man? Good to see you. You've been playing poker the past couple of nights in Discord. There we go. Oh yeah, man, that would be fun. I mean, once again, I'm not telling you guys what to do. I'm just sharing that I'm going to give it a try and see what it, you know, how it goes. Hopefully it's fun. And if it's player versus player,
this morning,
then
the House will
yeah.
begin the markup of...
Oh yeah, so let's check this out. So coming out from Squawk Box, today the House will begin the markup of 2 digital asset bills to establish a regulatory framework. Right? Like, holy cow, guys, the regulatory... Isn't that funny? We get XRP clarity and now we're like accelerating towards regulatory clarity overall for the digital asset space. We should do GDLT payouts and NFT stuff like that. No way. Could we do R&R poker with GDLT token? Is that possible right there, full of XRP? Okay, here we go.
This morning, the House will begin the markup of 2 new digital asset bills crafted by the Agriculture and Financial Services Committees. The bills seek to establish a regulatory framework for crypto and spur innovation while protecting consumers and market participants. Joining us now with the details, Congressman French Hill, Vice Chair of the Financial Services Committee and Chair of the Digital Assets Subcommittee. He has an op-ed in The Hill laying out the ideas behind his digital assets regulatory framework. I don't want to get too excited. I actually do want to get excited, Congressman. But with this, what are its chances? And is this finally it? It's bipartisan, right?
Well, Joe, good morning. Yes, we've worked very hard. We worked for over a year on a bill with our Democratic colleagues and with the Biden administration to find a pathway to have stable coin legislation where we actually define what is a stable coin. How are they measured? How are they audited? How are they reported? How are investors protected? And that bill is one we continue to work on, and we will bring it to markup this week. And secondly, we have this regulatory framework overall that deals with what is a digital asset. Is it a security? Is it a commodity? How do you trade those? Where do they trade? Is it traded on a commodity exchange or on a securities exchange? And how are investors, again, protected? And how are innovators able to bring those entities to the market?
Who's in charge? Al Haig, do we know who's in charge? Who's in charge of crypto? I think he passed away finally, didn't he? But who's in charge of crypto in this country? Is it Gensler? Is it Congress? Is it the CFTC? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, what Congress authorizes in these bills is we allow for a stable coin to be issued at the states under a state regulatory scheme that's supervised by the Federal Reserve and Federal Reserve high standards. And so that's the pathway. It can be either a federal pathway or a state pathway. And then for crypto generally, if it's a security, the SEC is in charge. If it's a commodity, the CFTC is in charge. And people can be duly registered to trade these entities on the proper exchange, a commodity exchange or a securities exchange. And we put to rest what is that test, the so-called Howey test, on how somebody determines if an asset, a digital asset, is a security or is a commodity. And we think that brings a lot of clarity to the market, both for innovators, entrepreneurs, but also for investors, so that they finally have the protection that they need, that they have not seen due to the FTX collapse and a lot of the other crises that we faced in the crypto environment.
Do you talk to Chair Gensler about how to do this? I think last time I may have asked you that, and you said, yeah, you're in contact with everyone, but is there a consensus on which way to go on this? I still don't feel that confident it's going to be this year, for example.
Well, we are going to work hard to get it out of committee this week and create consensus to pass it in the House. And then we're working with our Senate colleagues on what path they prefer, because we need the stability of a regulatory framework. We need a statutory regulatory framework, because I don't think that the SEC has the fit-for-purpose statutory authorities to do what they need to do. And we know for a fact, in talking to Chairman Benham at the CFTC, the Commodities and Future Trading Commission, that they don't have the statutory authority that they need. So this will bring clarity to the market and give the direction to the SEC and the CFTC. What's the right regulatory framework?
Let's go. Yes. Yes, yes to all of this. They sound confused as hell, but this guy doesn't sound confused. He's like, no, let's get this freaking done. Right? I love this. I love seeing this type of activity. We're finally, like, you know, sure, it's going to take a while because governments always take forever, right? This may be going into the next, like, for the next administration. That's when we start having some good stuff going, right? Can't wait for this bill to reset the market, blood on the streets. So you think this bill will crash the market, right? Completely destroy it. And then the rise of the Phoenix, right? XRP. So we're going to get 10-cent Darcy XRP, 10-cent XRP, TikTok full of XRP, explosion of Tether, collapse of Tether, collapse of Bitcoin, collapse of Ethereum, collapse of the traditional financial system. Oh, congratulations, Bitcoin. You did really well during the traditional financial system. But now it's time to move to the digital financial system. And you may still do well. You'll be a good digital collectible, I'm sure. We need XRP 60-cent bounce to hit all-time high. I mean, we're project. So let's look at the XRP chart here. Let's look at worst case scenario. Bullish case scenarios, if we, if we're going to retrace, we retrace down to like 54 cents and bounce from there. Worst case scenario is we touch 48 cents and I would not be happy. If we touch 48 cents, there is a chance that XRP could actually collapse further from 48 cents. We don't want to get closer to this bottom trend line. We want to be breaking out of this thing finally, right? So the best case is to treat former area of resistance as support at around 58, 54 cents, right? If we can bounce off of that, then that's bullish for XRP. Down the line, we can go sideways for a bit, crawling back up into the 60s, into the 70s, right? And then start launching towards the end of the year into 2024 for the next bull cycle, right? Or for the next bullish momentum for XRP. So yeah, once again, these bills and the way the market could react, like global catalysts, right, could cause these like low prices of 48 cents or hell, Darcy's infamous 10-cent. I would say 28 cents would probably be the worst case scenario. I'm not going to go and say 10 cents, but hey, if we're talking a global reset, anything's possible, I suppose. Some say 380. Nice. But hey, man, it looked like that was the Gohan call, right? We had that Gohan call. We did the Zen look. People call it inverse head and shoulders, but we called it the Zen Gohan here. Right? People, OG Blue Crew knows what I'm talking about. Before this last bull cycle with XRP and other cryptos, we had something called the Gohan call, and it was basically around here where we were seeing the lows for XRP, and we drew a Super Saiyan Gohan face, happy Super Saiyan Zen Gohan launching on up, and we got it again, man. Hopefully this is the start of the bull cycle here for XRP. We'll see. I mean, it's definitely the start of the tsunami for sure in terms of the campaign for XRP and Ripple. People are freaking out, man. The crypto space is flipping out over XRP. They just don't know how to process it. They like what they saw happen almost 2 weeks ago now. Almost just, made the crypto market tons of copium. They don't know what to do. They're like, wait, 47 cents to 95 cents with XRP. Okay, well, hey, it's regulatory clarity for XRP. Then, that just means that our cryptos are going to get regulatory clarity too, right? I don't know. We'll see. Brendan Dobbins, appreciate you. Let's keep going with the news here, guys, and appreciate the support. Thanks for getting us over 20 likes. Let's see if we can get to 30 likes by the end of the stream. I'd appreciate it. I'm greedy. You guys know I'm greedy for that like. Appreciate y'all. FOMC 5.5 increase. There we go. I'd probably be a 16 millionaire. There we go. 10 euro end of year, please. Crypto gods. There we go, man. Sniff asked me last night, what price do I think XRP will be a year from now? So that's assuming we go into a bull cycle. So I've been, trying to think 2024 is going to be a bullish cycle, right? So if we get a bull cycle for XRP, I think XRP's price in that bull cycle will be $37, right? No, did I say 32 or 37? I think I said $37, right? And I think that's maybe even being conservative, considering we could get regulatory clarity for, not only XRP, but for the whole market going into this next bull cycle. And that could be tremendous. Dude, I hope it's $37, man. I hope it's $37 in that next bull cycle. I don't see why not. I don't see why it can't go there. Right? We would have led the last bull cycle. XRP would have gone past $3 all-time high, would have probably touched like $15 or something. Right? So I think 37 is being really conservative considering in the next bull cycle for XRP. And I know a lot of the Riddler people right now are so about the Riddlers. It's funny, when things start happening very well for XRP, people go, oh, well, hey, look, the Riddlers, they're amazing, right? But when it's bearish, you look at the Riddlers as like, man, are they real? Are they for real or whatever? Right? But anyways, a lot of people thinking 589 at the end of this year, right? A lot of people are starting to think 589 at the end of this year. We'll see. We'll see. Tsunami is coming though. If utility gets involved in the next bull run, would the price come down again, or would it become stable? That's a great question, man. I mean, we are in uncharted territory, Mike in the clouds. We wouldn't know what to do from there. I would assume, yeah, I think this next bull cycle is going to be the .com bubble type of one, right? Where this market's going to get so inflated. It's not only going to be utility, it's going to be speculation, and you'll have that's when the bubble will pop. Right? Like we've kind of been predicting, we're going to see the traditional financial system, before it officially collapses, get even worse, right? And if that's the case, dude, something like Doge could go to like $1 and totally just showcase how much of a joke fiat is, right? And then hence the transformation need and everything like that, right? So I think the whole market can get inflated. And, there could be tremendous gains to be made there, but then that's when I think a major collapse would happen in the blockchain technology space. And then it's just those ISO 20022 cryptos that are surviving or whatnot. We'll see. Remember, David said AMM is risky if the price goes up, but safer if price goes down. Interesting. Will XRP drop big time after bull run, G, or will it stay stable, dude? We don't know, man. That's what we're just saying. We're saying we can go into a bull cycle, but all the other cryptos could be following along as well, which would mean we're still in a very heavily speculative market and not true utility, just based on utility, right? You know, and that could lead to like a dot-com bubble crash in the crypto space. I don't think we've reached that point yet. Some people are saying that that was the last bull cycle. The last bull cycle was the dot-com bubble crash for blockchain and crypto. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Remember, this is a slow progression with the adoption, and especially massive, like, we're hoping that XRP can really bring on the true mass adoption that we're looking for in this space, but there is a possibility where it's a slow progression of mass adoption, and you're having Bitcoin being the leader for now, right, into adoption, and then all these people, everyday people that, you know, FOMO into bull cycles will be like, oh, this is fun, Bitcoin's fun, Doge is fun, all this crypto is fun, right? Another, like, but like in a massive bull cycle way. Like, we need, in order to get this dot-com bubble type of crash, we need everybody, like so many people, to be on board it, right, to really just cause utter chaos, right? So we're going to be probably rich as hell. There's going to be a ton of people FOMOing in hardcore, and they're going to be probably making some money, right? And it's going to get absurd to a peak, and then a major crash would happen, right? Gee, your streams are super helpful. Love watching you after work, dude. Thank you very much. No, thank you guys for tuning in and your support to the channel. And you guys teach me a lot, man. It's all about the Blue Crew here, and you guys make the channel what it is. Once again, thanks for the 20 viewers, the 22 likes. Thanks to any Green Giants, members, subscribers, all that good stuff. You guys are out of this world. Always grateful. You guys know that. So, but yeah, once again, I'm not, you know, a financial advisor. I'm not a pro trader, and I'll never tell you what to do, and I'm always wrong. Blue Crew is always right. So Crypto Cowboy here, man. Eyes on the prize here, man. XRP exempted as eToro plans to delist for tokens. So XRP to go unscathed. eToro kept XRP on board, right? The whole time. Dark Horse, we still don't know if Bitcoin can ever be surpassed, but XRP by Ripple Labs just might have a chance if so. Who is your Dark Horse candidate for football's MVP this year? And then they talk about that, and then, so are they saying maybe during the football, dude, this was 4 years ago from eToro, right? So are they saying maybe something to do with XRP and football season, or Super Bowl ad, or close to Super Bowl time, it's surpassing Bitcoin, right? Which is like close to the, you know, which would be in perfect timing with this election year, right? To kick off the election year towards the end of this year. Let's see. But yeah, then you see this with eToro, and then check this out. Twitter partners with eToro to let users trade stocks, crypto, as Musk pushes app into finance. And now that it's X.com, it's definitely into finance. And look at that, XRP. There's Chris Larson, right? I don't know who this guy is, who this guy on the right is. Maybe he has something to do with Twitter as well, or eToro. Yeah, he's probably an eToro guy. That's bullish, man. I'm excited to see what X.com is going to do. And it seems like, you know, if they want to be regulatory compliant, they would use a crypto that's regulated and has regulatory clarity, right? What's up, XROM P? Appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in, man. And you got Miles P. You got the 2 Ps here. Appreciate y'all. He owns eToro, I think. Chris Larson? No way. That would be crazy. Can anybody prove that he owns eToro? Who else did we got here? Appreciate everybody tuning in. Hopefully the music in the background's not too distracting for you guys, and hopefully it's just setting a good vibe, and then hopefully you guys are able to like see the video clips with that music playing in the background as well. Anthony Welfare, you know, he was shown popping bottles after that XRP clarity. Look at him here A pleasure to work with the team in Montenegro on the continuation of activities and the implementation of the national stablecoin pilot project. The main objective of the pilot project is for Montenegrin administration as well as the general public to expand their knowledge and gain a hands-on experience in the application of this type of digital currency, as well as to learn more about its possibilities, but also its inherent risks, especially in the context of its impact, applicable regulations, cybersecurity, and the protection of the rights and privacy of end users. Right? Check, you know, that's a big boardroom right there. Pretty big boardroom discussion there in Anthony Welfare. Look at that. If we zoom in, it says Ripple CBDC platform for integration powering real-world assets. Love this, man. Good stuff, dude. Good stuff. Check this out from the Digital Euro Association. The Republic of Palau has collaborated with Ripple Labs to mint its inaugural stablecoin. The Palau stablecoin PSC operates on the XRP ledger, on the XRP ledger, on the XRP ledger. Let's go. Showcasing Ripple's technology as the backbone of this financial initiative. Republic of Palau and Ripple Labs. Guys, we've already known about the connection with Republic of Palau in the past here. And you mint first stablecoin. So in a significant development, the Republic of Palau has collaborated with Ripple Labs to mint its inaugural stablecoin, the Palau stablecoin, right? So now we got a minted country stablecoin on the Ripple CBDC platform. And we're just already seeing there with Montenegro in terms of CBDC platform integrations as well. Director of Palau's Digital Residency Program and member of Palau's Ministry of Finance shared the news on Twitter, shedding light on the partnership between Palau National Treasury and Ripple Labs. The event took place in the national capital in Palau, where representatives from both the Palau National Treasury and Ripple came together to celebrate the successful launch of the Palau stablecoin. According to Anson, the marks a crucial step in the joint exploration of stablecoins potential use cases with Palau. The PSC launches an important milestone in our collaboration with Ripple as we work together to explore the possibilities of the stablecoin and specific use cases within our country. We have received explicit approval from Palau Congress, giving the PSC pilot program an official stamp of legitimacy, right? Palau utilizes Ripple and XRP. Palau's Ministry of Finance has initiated the stablecoin project to address specific needs within the nation's financial landscape. By sponsoring this project, the ministry aims to reduce payment costs within the Republic of Palau and enhance access to financial services, particularly for underserved communities and various socioeconomic groups using digital solutions. Remarkably, the Palau stablecoin operates on the XRP ledger, showcasing Ripple's technology as the backbone of this financial initiative. Anson's tweets also highlighted the meticulous approach taken in the development of this stablecoin, right? So they had pilot tests that were conducted to assess effectiveness and efficiency of the solution co-designed with Ripple. These pilot experiments provide valuable insights into the stability and usability of the stablecoin and its potential public release. Our controlled pilot tests have been enlightening, and we are optimistic about the potential impact of the Palau stablecoin on our nation's economy. Let's go. They're happy with what they saw using Ripple. That is for sure, using the XRPL. Let's see, this volunteer user makes a purchase at the partner vendor King's Market in Palau. The very limited and controlled pilot test specific use cases inside Palau to validate our solution design in collaboration with Ripple. Guys, this is huge. I got to retweet this tweet. Yeah, we're going to Palau to party, guys. Here we go. Blue Crew Palau party. Let's start moving to Palau. Let's start buying some real estate in Palau, man. I think they're about to be booming if they're using XRPL with their nation's currency. Might be a good time to be running a business in Palau. Here we go.
Okay, so
460.
So scan the QR code, and then scan the QR code.
460. 4.6 amount.
4.60. 68. Okay.
Okay, 1 minute.
That's taking too long to confirm. This whole process of the payment is still way too long. It needs to just be a tap and go type of thing, man. That's the future. It's just, oh, okay, thank you. Beep. All right, bye. That's the way it should be. But hey, it's a stable coin, and I get it. It's a video example here. Let's see what ends up happening.
Usually this slow.
It's just how quick the network is. Money sent.
It's just how quick the network is.
And on your side, you see that. You can refresh it. That was 682.
There's Ripple on the top left corner of that app on the cell phone right here. Right there, in terms of the stable coins.
Plus 468. Oh, there you go.
There you go. There's the payment. He received it. Right? Pilot tested the Palau stablecoin solution for these merchants. And that's what it is, man. It's like, is this what I'm confused with is like CBDCs and stablecoins, and are they one and the same? Right? Like, because we've been talking about this for a good long time, that people are still and are going to probably keep being familiar with making payments in their national currency. It's just, it's going to be something that's going to take a lot of time to transition to, where it's just, you're using whatever currency you want. You know, but people using and especially businesses, right? The banks, the regulators of these businesses, are going to be requiring the CBDC or the national stable coin, right? When you're processing, you know, your bills or anything like that, or, you know, giving any paperwork to the government, right? They're going to be requiring that you did your, like, sure. And the person who's paying you can pay with whatever they want, but it ultimately has to convert back into the CBDC, or that's the national stablecoin, right, to the merchant, right? So you could be like, hey, I just want to use my airline points. You don't even have to tell them. You're just like, beep, and you move away, and they don't even need to know what you paid with, right? And it gets converted into the local CBDC. What's up, Gerald? Appreciate you tuning in. Much love to the Blue Crew. Yo, G, let me start by saying, you get your pencil sharpened. You will have thousands of followers very soon, because I see influencers like Hulk, and they have no idea what's going on with XLM or even SHX. No, dude, it's okay, man. We're you know, we're a small channel, man. We're not for everybody. And we don't do the, like, yeah, we've been mentioning to hit the like button, and thanks to any subscribers. We've been doing the YouTube thing in that regard, but we, you know, we go about it the way that we go about it, man. And it's a slow growth of a channel. And I don't even know if SHX went up to like even $1, let's just say SHX went up to $1. I still don't think this channel would probably be over 10,000 subscribers. You know, like, I think it's just going to continue to be a slow crawl. Like, people will just be like, hey man, have you heard of SHX? Like, it's at $1.50 right now, and I'm wondering, I'm buying this dip that, you know, it's 99% down from its all-time high of like $15. Should I buy in on the dip on SHX at $1.50? And I'll be like, oh my god, dude, we've been here for like 13 years. Yeah, slow and steady, G. Hey man, it's quality over quantity, man. It's having the Blue Crew here we've been building out this Blue Crew very, very strong. We've been averaging close to what, 30 to 40 likes a stream now. It's because of you guys. You guys support this channel. You guys make it what it is, and we love y'all. So thank you for the support. And you know, we're here. We're here with y'all, man. We're here in the muck. We're here in the deep reds. We're here in the green pastures. We're here wherever, man. We're the Tigers, and we're, you know, keep doing our thing. It's your fault, guys. There we go. Yeah, slow and steady, man. Slow and steady, G. All right. Let's see if we got any more news, but that's big news, right? Coming out from Republic of Palau, stablecoin on Ripple and XRPL, fast payments. Can you imagine the go live a payment system without prior notice of an exact launch date? This is exactly what the industry experienced last week when ISO 20022 base FedNow was launched, states DPS Group in the introduction of its media summary on the subject, right? So payment infrastructure news talking about like, hey, you know, not many people realize how big this transition to FedNow was, right? Josh O'Hare, 69.71 cents. There we go. Slow and steady growth stops a pump and dump channel. There you go. And you guys know, man, like I'm super bullish. The future is bright, right? But we're not like the type of guys who are, you know, I think a lot of YouTubers, and I'm not trying to say we're amazing here by any chance, but what I notice with a lot of YouTubers is they have a certain stance and that they stick to. And that's the thing. We don't really plant our flag too often here on this channel, but like there's people who are like, if you think that XRP isn't going to be the one, I don't know what to say to you. I don't know what blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, the, where they have this like type of attitude where it's like this over the top confidence in their respective crypto projects and stuff like that. With us, we're like, hey, we're willing to be wrong. We're willing to make some good calls, bad calls, whatever. We're sharing a journey here in the crypto space, all in all, and just trying to have a good time hanging out with the community and the blue crew out there. We're not trying to, you know, make people FOMO or, you know, make people feel guilty for not being in on projects or anything like that. We're not here to tell people what to do, right? We'll never ask for your money. We appreciate the donations, right? Of course, it helps out the channel a lot. And ideally, I would love to do this like full time, hang out with the blue crew, commit to this channel and just build it out tremendously. But, you know, it's going to be slow and steady and it will get there. We'll get there in time, right? Joel Cat sharing some piece of news. Appreciate you, Inspector. Let's check that out. Like, we don't have a Patreon. We freaking give trades. Like, dude, that XRP trade signal that we had recently, right? Where we called this breakout, right? The breakout towards the upside. We said if there's a global catalyst, it could crash, but we don't see it. All the indicators are saying it should break out, and it broke out in a big way. Usually some freaking dude would be like, join my Patreon and I'll give you trade signals and, you know, tell you what's going to go down. Like here, I'm not a pro trader, but you know, also at the same time, we're not like asking, you know, hey, you want to see what I think about XRP and where it's going to go from here? You got to pay me, right? You got to go to my Patreon to see these types of trade signals and all this stuff and play the game, right? We're just sharing information, man. At the end of the day, we're not asking you for your money. We appreciate the donations, of course, but we're not here to, you know, just focus only on trying to get as much money from our users as we can. Some people have a pink triangle on their sleeve. They let me know the truth. They let me know the truth. What the heck is that, DN? What the heck is that, dude? So random. We got this post by David Schwartz, by the way. There are a few reasons the AMM might have some flaw or bug. That's not likely, but it's possible. You have to split your exposure with some other assets. You're only holding XRP. The other asset could be a cryptocurrency. If XRP goes way up in value, you will be selling the whole way up. So if you think of XRP like a lottery ticket, you may not want to do this. You have to return from market making, auction slot revenue, and then volatility harvesting, but you do lose some ability to profit from one of the two assets going way up alone. For example, if you put funds in XRP USD AMM and XRP goes up 10x, your position only goes up about 3x. If you put funds in an XRP BTC AMM and XRP goes up 10x, but BTC stays the same, or vice versa, your position only goes up about 3x. If both go 10x, your position goes only 10x, right? So you lose some benefit of appreciation or just one of the pool's assets because you are selling it the whole way up. In compensation, you do have reduced losses from a drop because you are selling the whole way down. I like the idea of splitting between XRP BTC and XRP Ethereum and possibly crypto to crypto AMMs. It's a bit riskier than XRP USD, but if you don't like risk, why are you holding crypto at all? Interesting. Joel Katz. You know, okay, so I guess I'm just going to be holding XRP, man, but he knows banks custody BTC and Ethereum, and that's why I think he's saying, hey, I don't mind splitting XRP with BTC and XRP ETH in an AMM and seeing what happens. And once again, like, I think he's acting as if like people are putting their whole portfolios in these AMMs. The point of the AMM is to generate like rewards, right? And to generate some like passive income as well. And, you know, ideally, maybe generating the amount of passive income that you initially put in, right? And going beyond that. So then it's just passive from there. And sure, if the volatility goes up in your paired cryptos, then yeah, you're not getting much of the benefit of those gains, but the passive income you made is getting the benefit, right? If you're holding just like let's say it's a XRP BTC pool and you earn XRP through it, and then ideally you start earning more XRP than you had initially put in, you know, down the line, then you're just making passive income from there, right? At least that's the way I see it. With a little more work, we can make the... Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's true. We could. That's why I'm saying putting a percentage in AMM when it's a rocket already might be good, since you get the yield and protection. Exactly, Inspector Music. That's great. That's a great point. Like at the top, participating in the AMM with a nice stash, right? That's not a bad idea. Some people think Joel Katz has 2 billion XRP. David, smart dude. Brad called him the Steph Curry of crypto. Yep, I saw that short from Bagman, dude. That is bullish. He's saying, I went to a Warriors game and I ran into Joel Katz or David Schwartz twice, and I was like, wow, nobody here knows that this guy is like the Steph Curry of cryptographers. Like that he has such a big influence in the crypto space and what he. And the funny thing is, it's like, I bet maybe David Schwartz is thinking about Brad Garlinghouse. Maybe not, but you know, he's going, wow, Brad Garlinghouse is here. And like both these legends that we would, if we saw them in public, we'd be like, holy shit, man. Hey, love the work that you're doing, right? What's up? You know, but I can't believe that there's literally people that close to the Ripple buildings, you know, office buildings and the home of Ripple in San Francisco. And, you know, they're, you know, David Schwartz and Brad Garlinghouse can just walk amongst them and nobody knows who they are. Nobody knows who they are. That is crazy. It's like, oh, just the creators of the new global currency walking around, you know, don't mind us, right? All these people paying for like $20 popcorns at the Warriors game, where if they knew, holy crap, Joel Katz is in the building, David Schwartz is in the building, you know what, let's not buy this $20 popcorn, let's buy $20 of XRP. But anyways, much love to the Blue Crew, Green Giants. That's an awesome Twitter post right there. Appreciate you sharing that. Can't be dirt cheap. Can't be dirt cheap. The Hatchcraft Association has today announced its partnership with IDS Biz, a leading enterprise blockchain service provider, to act as its headline sponsor for the Bharat Blockchain Yatra, a Web3 tech tour backed by the government of India. Dude, HBAR is a sleeping giant for sure. It seems like, man. HBAR is definitely looking like a sleeping giant. The type of collaborators that they have, they're governing, like, I don't know why they keep calling it the governing council or why they have to call it the governing council. I'm not that like super in on, you know, knowing why they give it that term for HBAR. But hopefully they're doing more than just governing. Hopefully they're doing more like in terms of like ensuring mass adoption here of HBAR. Yeah, might make an X account now, Brendan. Dude, no. Save yourself, man. Save yourself, dude. X.com and X is the mark of the beast. This is going to be, you know, you're going to probably create an X account regardless in the future because it'll be the everything app, right? That's what he wants it to be, is this everything app. Your app for your finances, social media, purchases of goods, all that type of stuff. Hell, you'll have X Eats or something like that, where you can have food delivered to you, right? Did we go over Ripple's first CBDC project? We talked about Montenegro in terms of CBDC and stablecoin pilot project for Montenegro, and then we talked about Republic of Palau piloting project for new US dollar stablecoin, backed stablecoin set to issue on the XRPL, right? So that's huge. I like to call it the American WeChat. Yeah, basically, right? It's the American WeChat. It's your social media, it's your payment app, it's your everything, right? You'll be able to buy goods off of it, right? It's a smart business plan. I get it. Like, you acquired something that has already billions of users as a social media platform, and then now you're ready. You can just start slowly transitioning into making it provide all these, like, this is going to be make or break for it, right? But same way that Amazon Books was doing the books market and had a bunch of users with books, then they started slowly rolling out all these other uses for Amazon. It looks like they're doing that here with X, right? So you're gonna say 10 days of darkness and then back on DLT? That'll be crazy. Inspector Music saying Yahoo Ripple News here. Let's check it out, my dude. Appreciate, guys, Blue Crew sharing the news. That's what it's all about. I appreciate it, guys. Because, you know, sometimes we got the eye of the tiger, man, but sometimes we overlook things here. Ripple joins Hong Kong CBDC pilot, partners with Fubon Bank. We've heard about the Hong Kong Monetary Authority and the CBDC pilot, but we didn't hear about this partnership with Fubon Bank, a Hong Kong unit of Taiwan's Fubon Financial Holding Company, as part of Hong Kong's new EHKD. That, yep, we've heard about the Hong Kong dollar pilot program. So not only do we have Montenegro, Palau, now Hong Kong for the EHKD pilot on Ripple's CBDC platform. The pilot program brings together various industry players to explore EHKD use cases and implementation uses. The Ripple Fubon Bank tie-up will offer solutions for real estate asset tokenization and equity releases using the CBDC. Guys, get ready, man. Ripple announced a press release Thursday that its new CBDC platform can facilitate central banks, governments, and financial institutions to issue their own CBDCs and manage the digital currency's full life cycle. This will include both transactions and distributions. Here we go. It's a huge honor for Ripple to be one of the select few organizations participating in the HKMA's EHKD pilot program, right? We now have the opportunity to demonstrate how real estate asset tokenization can be brought to the citizens of Hong Kong. The fully integrated solution will be an industry-first use case demonstrating the power of leveraging a CBDC for real estate equity asset release. Let's go. Exciting times. A total of 16 banks, payment firms, and blockchain companies will participate in the pilot program to test those use cases. These include state-owned Bank of China, China Construction Bank, Industrial and Commercial Bank China, alongside HSBC, Standard Chartered Bank, Visa, MasterCard, and Ant Group's Alipay. And remember, guys, Ant Group also being part of Mojaloop, right? Ripple's in freaking China as well, you guys. The ripples are spreading all across the globe. Are you going to play Jerome Powell live? I probably won't. I don't know what time it starts at. What time does it start at? But I probably won't be playing that live. Oh, it's happening now? Can you share the link? Oh, it's live right now? Okay, so I guess we'll be playing it. Here we go. Let's play it, guys. Hopefully this is not too long, though, but I appreciate y'all.
Continuing signs that supply and demand in the labor market are coming into better balance. The labor force participation rate has moved up since last year.
Thanks to everybody supporting the channel, by the way, and if you guys enjoy this type of information, thanks for hitting the like, thanks to any new subscribers. All right, let's keep doing this.
54 years. Nominal wage growth has shown some signs of easing, and job vacancies have declined so far this year. While the jobs to workers gap has narrowed, labor demand still substantially exceeds the supply of available workers. Inflation remains well above our longer run goal of 2%. Over the 12 months ending in May, total PCE prices rose 3.8%. Excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices rose 4.6%. In June, the 12-month change in the Consumer Price Index, or CPI, came in at 3.0%, and the change in the core CPI was 4.8%. Inflation has moderated somewhat since the middle of last year. Nonetheless, the process of getting inflation back down to 2% has a long way to go. Despite elevated inflation, longer-term inflation expectations appear to remain well anchored, as reflected in a broad range of surveys of households, businesses, and forecasters, as well as measures from financial markets. The Fed's monetary policy actions are guided by our mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. My colleagues and I are acutely aware that high inflation imposes significant hardship as it erodes purchasing power, especially for those least able to meet the higher cost of essentials like food, housing, and transportation. We're highly attentive to the risks that high inflation poses to both sides of our mandate, and we are strongly committed to returning to inflation to our 2% objective. At today's meeting, the committee raised the target range for the federal funds rate by a 1/4 percentage point, bringing the target range to 5.25% to 5.5%. We are also continuing the process of significantly reducing our securities holdings. With today's action, we've raised our policy rate by 5.25 percentage points since early last year. We have been seeing the effects of our policy tightening on demand in the most interest rate sensitive sectors of the economy, particularly housing and investment. It will take time, however, for the full effects of our ongoing monetary restraint to be realized, especially on inflation. In addition, the economy is facing headwinds from tighter credit conditions for households and businesses, which are likely to weigh on economic activity, hiring, and inflation. In determining the extent of additional policy firming that may be appropriate to return inflation to 2% over time, the committee will take into account the cumulative tightening of monetary policy, the lags with which monetary policy affects economic activity and inflation, and economic and financial developments. We will continue to make our decisions meeting by meeting based on the totality of the incoming data and their implications for the outlook for economic activity and inflation, as well as the balance of risks. We remain committed to bringing inflation back to our 2% goal and to keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Reducing inflation is likely to require a period of below-trend growth and some softening of labor market conditions. Restoring price stability is essential to set the stage for achieving maximum employment and stable prices over the longer run. To conclude, we understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission. We at the Fed will do everything we can to achieve our maximum employment and price stability goals. Thank you, and I look forward to your questions.
Steve.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. You have, I think, a couple times in your opening remarks talked about this language in determining the extent of additional policy firming that may be appropriate. Should we take that to mean that additional hikes are likely on the way? And should we also believe that all future meetings, say September and November, are live, or are you in a every other meeting mode? Thank you.
So we haven't made a decision to go to every other meeting. It's not something we've looked at. We're going to be going meeting by meeting, and as we go into each meeting, we're going to be asking ourselves the same question. So we haven't made any decisions about any future meetings, including the pace at which we'd consider hiking. But we're going to be assessing the need for further tightening that may be appropriate. You read the language, to return inflation to 2% over time. I would say that the intermeeting data came in broadly in line with expectations. Economic activity remained resilient. Job creation remained strong while cooling a bit. And the June CPI report actually came in a bit better than expectations for a change. And the June CPI report, of course, was welcome, but it's only one report, 1 month's data. We hope that inflation will follow a lower path it will be consistent with the CPI reading, but we don't know that, and we're just going to need to see more data. So what are we going to be looking at? Really, it will be the whole broader picture, and starting with we're looking for moderate growth, right? We're looking for supply and demand through the economy coming into better balance, including in particular in the labor market. We'll be looking at inflation, and we'll be asking ourselves, does this whole collection of data, do we assess it as suggesting that we need to raise rates further? And if we make that conclusion, then we will go ahead and raise rates. So that's how we're thinking about the next meeting, and how we're thinking about meetings going forward potentially. But we're now mainly thinking about the next meeting. I will also say, since we're talking about it, between now and the September meeting, we get 2 more job reports, 2 more CPI reports. I think we have an ECI report coming later this week, which is Employment Compensation Index, and lots of data on economic activity. All of that information is going to inform our decision as we go into that meeting. I would say it is certainly possible that we would raise funds again at the September meeting if the data warranted, and I would also say it's possible that we would choose to hold steady at that meeting. We're going to be making careful assessments, as I said, meeting by meeting. And I'll close by saying we've raised the federal funds rate now by 525 basis points since March 2022. Monetary policy, we believe, is restrictive and is putting downward pressure on economic activity and inflation.
If I could just briefly follow up on something you said there. You said the data in the intermediate period, it broadly came in line with expectations. Does that mean there's unlikely to have been a change in the overwhelming outlook of the committee that 2 more hikes are necessary?
I'm just going to go back to what I said. That's the question. We have 8 weeks now until the September meeting, and all that data that I recited, we're going to be looking at all of that and making that assessment then. And really, we did have the one good reading, and of course we welcome that, but it's just one reading, as everybody knows. And we've seen this before in the data. Many forecasts call for rates for inflation to remain low, but we just don't know that until we see the data. So we'll be focusing on that.
Gina. Thank you. Thanks for taking our questions, Chair Powell. Obviously, you upgraded the language around growth in the statement today. We've seen the Barbie movie numbers. We've seen everyone going to Taylor Swift concerts this summer. It seems like the American consumer is in pretty good shape. And it does seem like growth is sort of picking back up a little bit, or at least doing well. And I wonder from your perspective, if that continues, if we see growth not just stabilizing, but performing well this summer, is that a problem because it's inflationary, or is it good news because it suggests that a soft landing is more likely? Just how are you thinking about that sort of trajectory?
Yeah, so I would say it this way. The overall resilience of the economy, the fact that we've been able to achieve disinflation so far without any meaningful negative impact on the labor market, the strength of the economy, overall, that's a good thing. It's good to see that, of course. It's also, you see consumer confidence coming up and things like that. That will support activity going forward. But you're right, though. At the margin, stronger growth could lead over time to higher inflation, and that would require an appropriate response from monetary policy. So we'll be watching that carefully and seeing how it evolves over time.
Neil.
Thanks, Chair Powell. Neil Irwin from Axios. So as you referenced earlier, in the intermeeting period, soft CPI, jobs reports, still strong but moderating, JOLTS looked good. So if you're data dependent, why not pause again? Why not stay on hold? Why not take another meeting off when the data was at least cutting in the direction you want to see?
So if you go back to what we're trying to do here, we're trying to achieve a stance of policy that's sufficiently restrictive to bring inflation down to 2%. At the last meeting, we wrote down our individual estimates of what that would take, and the median of that was an additional 2 rate hikes. So I would say we looked at the intermeeting data, and as I mentioned, broadly consistent, not perfectly consistent, but broadly consistent with expectations, and as a result, we went ahead and took another step. And that's a labor market that continues to be strong, but gradually slowing. I mentioned that the inflation report was actually a little better than expected, but we're going to be careful about taking too much signal from a single reading. And growth came in stronger than expected. So that's how we look at it, and so we did take that step today.
Nick Timmeros of the Wall Street Journal. Chair Powell, markets widely believe the median FOMC participants' inflation forecast from June for the fourth quarter of this year will be too high, given autos and shelter, and that by September that may warrant a downward revision in the inflation forecast of 20 to 30 basis points. Would that type of inflation progress be enough to hold rates steady from here, or do you need to see below-trend growth and decelerating labor income growth to be convinced that you've done enough?
So it's hard to pick the pieces apart and say, how much of this and how much of that. We'll be looking at everything. And, of course, we'll be looking to see whether the signal from June CPI is replicated or the opposite of replicated, or whether it's somewhere in the middle. We'll be looking at the growth data. We'll be looking at the labor market data very closely, of course, and making an overall judgment about that. It's the totality of the data, I think, but with a particular focus on making progress on inflation.
If I could follow up, last month you said there were benefits to moderating the pace of increases because it would give you more information to make decisions. Would another CPI report like the one we just had in June allow you to at least maintain that slower pace and defer until the fall any decision on whether you need that second rate hike?
So I'm just going to tell you again what we're going to do in September. We're going to look at 2 additional job reports, 2 additional CPI reports, lots of activity data. And that's what we're going to look at, and we're going to make that decision then. And that decision could mean another hike in September, or it could mean that we decide to maintain at that level. And again, the question we're going to be asking ourselves is, Is the overall signal one that we need to do more, that we need to tighten further? And if we get that signal whenever we get it, then, and that's the collective judgment of the committee, then we will move ahead. If we don't, then we'll have the option of maintaining policy at that level. But it's really dependent so much on the data, and we just don't have it yet.
Chris.
Hi, Chris Rugaber at Associated Press. So consumer confidence in the economy is rising, likely in large part because of the declines in headline inflation. You also see wages are also rising faster than prices now after trailing them for a long time. How much are Americans truly harmed by inflation at its current level, headline level of 3%? And with that in mind, when do you put some weight back on the employment side of the dual mandate?
So I guess I'd say it this way. First, it is a good thing that headline inflation has come down so much, because that's really what the public experiences. And I would say that having headline inflation move down that much almost creates it will strengthen the broad sense that the public has that inflation is coming down, which will in turn, we hope, help inflation continue to move down. So you were really, sorry, what your question was?
Well, I mean, you've talked for many press conferences now about the harm created by inflation, how hard it is for people. So how much of that are we still seeing with inflation now down at 3?
So I guess I would put it this way. I'd say it this way. It's really a question of how do you balance the two risks, the risk of doing too much or doing too little. And, I would say that, we're coming to a place where there really are risks on both sides. It's hard to say exactly whether they're in balance or not, but as our stances become more restrictive and inflation moderates, we do increasingly face that risk. But we need to see that inflation is durably down that far. As you know, we think, and most economists think, that core inflation is actually a better signal of where headline inflation is going, because headline inflation is affected greatly by volatile energy and food prices. So we would want core inflation to be coming down, because that's what we think core is signaling where headline is going to go in the future. And core inflation is still pretty elevated. There's reason to think it can come down now, but it's still quite elevated. And so we think we need to stay on task, and we think we're going to need to certainly hold policy at restricted levels for some time, and we need to be prepared to raise further if we think that's appropriate.
Well, and then if inflation were to, just a quick follow, if it stays at 3 or drops even a little bit more, I mean, how much of an increase in unemployment do you think is acceptable to get that last bit of inflation? People are talking about the potential difficulty of the so-called last mile of inflation. So, but how much unemployment do you think is justified to get down that last?
So it is a very positive thing that actually the unemployment rate is the same as it was when we lifted off in March of 22 at 3.6%. So that's a real blessing, and that we've been able to achieve some disinflation. And we don't seek to, it's not that we're aiming to raise unemployment, but I would just say the historical record, we have to be honest about the historical record, which does suggest that when central banks go in and slow the economy to bring down inflation, the result tends to be some softening in labor market conditions. And so that is still the likely outcome here. And we hope that that's as little as possible. We have to be honest that is the likely outcome. The worst outcome for everyone, of course, would be not to deal with inflation now, not get it done. Whatever the short-term social costs of getting inflation under control, the longer-term social costs of failing to do so are greater, and that the historical record is very, very clear on that. If you go through a period where inflation expectations are not anchored, inflation is volatile, it interferes with people's lives and with economic activity, and that's the thing we really need to avoid and will avoid.
Michael McKee.
At this point, you say the policy is restrictive, but all year long we have seen growth surprise to the upside, unemployment to the downside, and inflation lately to the downside. So I'm wondering, by definition, should you be restrictive enough right now under these conditions? Do you think you might need to do more? Because I'm curious about what you see as inflation dynamics now? Is the economy still moving in a direction where it creates more inflation? People talk about base effects and higher energy costs, and now we have some large labor settlements. Or is the economy disinflating, and you're able to go back to the old Fed policy of opportunistic disinflation?
So I'll just say, again, the broader picture of what we want to see is we want to see easing of supply constraints and normalization of pandemic-related distortions to demand and supply. We want to see economic growth running at moderate or modest levels to help ease inflationary pressures. We want to see continued restoration of supply and demand balance, particularly in the labor market, and all of that should lead to declining inflationary pressures. Now, what we see is those pieces of the puzzle coming together, and we're seeing evidence of those things now. But I would say that what our eyes are telling us is that policy has not been restrictive enough for long enough to have its full desired effects. So we intend, again, to keep policy restrictive until we're confident that inflation is coming down sustainably toward our 2% target, and we're prepared to further tighten if that is appropriate. And we think the process, still probably has a long way to go.
Well, do you think under current conditions you are restrictive enough unless something changes?
Well, I think we think today's rate hike was appropriate, and I think we're going to be looking at the incoming data to inform our decision at the next meeting about is the incoming data telling us that we need to do more, and if it does tell us that collectively, if that's our view, then we will do more.
Colby.
Thank you. Colby Smith with the Financial Times. If September is in fact a live meeting, how does that square with the need for a more gradual tightening pace that you spoke of last month in explaining the rationale for holding the funds rate steady at the June meeting?
So a more gradual pace doesn't go immediately to every other meeting. It could be 2 out of 3 meetings, right? It just means if you're slowing down. The point really was to slow down the decision cycle as we get closer and closer to, we think, our destination. And I wouldn't want to go automatically to every other meeting because I just don't think I think it's not an environment where we want to provide a lot of forward guidance. There's a lot of uncertainty out there. We just want to keep moving at what we think is the right pace. And I do think it makes all the sense in the world to slow down as we now make these finally judged decisions. And so that's what we did. And so I think it's possible, I mentioned before, it's possible that we would move at consecutive meetings. We're not taking that off the table, or we might not. It's really going to depend on what the data tell us. That's the best we can do.
So we shouldn't assume that every other meeting is the lowest tightening frequency, let's say. It could be, longer intervals in between as well.
I think we're going to look. I think we're going to make a decision about the next meeting, and then we're going to make a decision about the one after that. And I think it'll sort itself out.
Thanks. Howard Schneider with Reuters. Among your colleagues, there have been people who've said they feel that very little transmission has taken place so far from monetary policy into the economy, and there are those who feel, they say, it's happened very fast this time and it's kind of up to date. Where are you on that continuum?
So there's a long-running debate about the lags between changes in financial conditions and the response to those changes from economic activity and inflation, right? So we know that in the modern era, financial conditions move in anticipation of our decisions, and that has clearly been the case in this cycle. So in a sense, the clock starts earlier than it used to, but that doesn't necessarily change the process from that point on, and it's not clear that it has. I'll tell you what we know and then what we don't know. We know that financial conditions affect economic activity and inflation with a lag that can be long and variable, or lags, plural, that can be long and variable. A lot of uncertainty around the length of the lags, and by the way, that's just one component of the broader uncertainty that we face. So I'll tell you how I think about this. The first thing to say is we're determined to bring inflation down to 2% over time, and we will use our tools to do that. No one should doubt that. I would look at it this way, though. The real federal funds rate is now in meaningfully positive territory. If you take the nominal federal funds rate, subtract a mainstream estimate of near-term inflation expectations, you get a real federal funds rate that is well above most estimates of the longer-term neutral rate. So I would say monetary policy is restrictive, more so after today's decision, meaning that it is putting downward pressure on economic activity and inflation. We'll keep monetary policy restrictive until we think it's not appropriate to do so. So that's how I think about it. I mean, if I sum it up, I would say we've come a long way. We are resolutely committed to returning inflation to our 2% goal over time. Inflation has proved repeatedly, stronger than we and other forecasters have expected. And at some point that may change. We have to be ready to follow the data. And given how far we've come, we can afford to be a little patient as well as resolute as we let this unfold.
On the credit side, I'm wondering if you saw anything in the latest SLOOS data that made you think you're getting a quantum of credit contraction beyond what you'd expect. The bank lending data really is, the growth rates edging down towards and below, heading below zero, which is usually a recession indicator.
So I guess the SLOOS will come out early next week, and I would just say it's broadly consistent with what you would expect. You've got lending conditions tight and getting a little tighter. You've got weak demand, and it gives a picture of pretty tight credit conditions in the economy. I think it's really hard to tease out how much of that is from this source or that source, but I think what matters is the overall picture is of tight and tightening lending conditions, and that's what this SLOOS will say.
Rachel. Hi, Chair Powell. Rachel Siegel from the Washington Post. Thanks for taking our questions. Could you break down the reasons why inflation has fallen and what share of that credit you would give to factors that don't stem directly from rate hikes or that might be within your control at all, like easing supply chains and a drop in energy prices over the past year?
Yeah. So, interesting question. So, let me start by saying that the inflation surge that we saw in the pandemic resulted from a collision of elevated demand and constrained supply, both of which followed from the unprecedented features of the pandemic and the response from fiscal and monetary policy. And we've always expected that the disinflationary process would stem from both from the normalization of those broad pandemic-related supply and demand conditions and from restrictive monetary policy, which would help return the balance between supply and demand by restraining demand. And we think that's broadly what we're seeing. So to go break it down a little further, of course, headline inflation has come down sharply from elevated levels as energy and food prices have come down, mostly due to reversal of the effects from the war in Ukraine. And that's a good thing, and the public experiences that, as I mentioned earlier. For core inflation, I'd say there has been a role for both factors, both that I mentioned. Clearly, for goods, normalization of supply conditions is playing an important role, as is the beginning of the reversal of spending back into services and away from goods. Take autos as an example. The combination of an increase in sales and inventories, while vehicle inflation has decelerated, points to a substantial role for supply. But there's also a role for demand, as the loans and things like that are more expensive. So they're both working there. Housing services inflation now starts to move down. Clearly, higher rates have slowed the housing market. I would say monetary policy is working about as we expect, and we think it'll play an important role going forward, in particular in non-housing services, where really we think that's where the labor market will come in as a very, very important factor. So we think both of those sources of disinflation are playing an important role.
I see. And just to follow up, do you think that of those two sources, that core will rely more heavily on seeing an impact from rate hikes, or is there a more even split there too?
I think monetary policy is going to be important going forward, because we're sort of reaping now the benefits of the reversal of some of the very specific pandemic things. We're seeing that with goods in particular, with supply chains and shortages moving, and we're seeing. So I think going forward, monetary policy will be important, particularly in the sector, in the non-housing services sector.
Edward.
Thank you, Chair Powell. First, let me compliment your tie, the choice of tie. So thanks for taking our question. So the Beige Book, it said, input cost pressures remain elevated for services firms, but eased notably for manufacturing sector. Is that an indication that there's a wage inflation pressure? And how do you target and pressure on the wage inflation without pushing the economy into recession?
I think as it relates to goods, it's really an indication that supply chains and shortages are easing. And so what was the first part of it?
So wage inflation, like how do you target wage inflation without pushing an economy into a recession?
I don't think we're targeting wage inflation. I think what we're looking for is a broad cooling in labor market conditions, and that's what we're seeing. So wages have actually been gradually moving down. They're still at levels that would be consistent over a long period of time with 2% inflation. Nonetheless, we're making progress there, and by so many indicators, labor market demand is cooling. You can look at surveys by workers and businesses who see that. You can look at the quits rate normalizing. You can look at job openings coming down. You can look at just job creation in the establishment survey has, it's still at a high level, but it was at really an extraordinarily high level for most of the last 2 years. So you see cooling, particularly in private sector in the last in the last report. So I think we see that, and it's happening at a gradual pace. So that's actually not a bad thing in a sense, because if what we see is a labor market, very strong demand for labor, which is really the engine of the economy. People are getting hired, many people going back to work, getting wages, spending money, and that's really what's driving the economy. But that it's gradually slowing, it's gradually cooling. That's a good prescription for getting where we want to get.
But still, we see a push to raise minimum wage. We're seeing a lot of unions go on strike or threaten strike, and the common thing is they come out with agreements like big pay increases, like UPS, and we have the auto workers coming up. Are you concerned then about a trend of series of big unions, these contract pushing wage inflation then?
Not for us to comment on contract negotiations. Not our job, not our role. We monitor these things and we'll keep an eye on them. But really, that's something that's handled at that level. And not
a large amount of people.
Victoria. Hi, Victoria Guido with Politico. I wanted to ask about the SEP, which suggests that you would cut rates as overall and core PCE get to around or under 3%. And so I'm wondering, is the level of inflation what's sort of important there as you think about getting to 2% and when you might start cutting rates? Or is the speed at which inflation is falling also important?
I think you'd take both into account. I think you'd take everything into account when you start cutting rates. It would depend on a wide range of things. And when people are writing down rate cuts next year, it just is a sense that inflation is coming down and we're comfortable that it's coming down and it's time to start cutting rates. I think, but I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty between what happens, in the next meeting cycle, let alone the next year, let alone the year after that. So it's hard to say exactly what happens there, what's motivating people.
So if it's sort of stubbornly in maybe the high twos, you wouldn't necessarily cut rates.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm not giving you any numerical guidance around that. I'm saying we'd be comfortable cutting rates when we're comfortable cutting rates, and that won't be this year, I don't think. It would be, many people wrote down rate cuts for next year. I think the median was several for next year, and that's just going to be a judgment that we have to make then, a full year from now, and it'll be about how confident we are that inflation is in fact coming down to our 2% goal.
A good part of Wall Street has become more confident that the Fed is going to be able to engineer a soft landing, and they've reduced their forecast for recession. And I'm wondering if the staff has changed its view on the likelihood of recession being likely, and if you personally have changed your view in terms of becoming more confident that you can achieve a soft landing.
So it has been my view consistently that we do have a shot, and my base case is that we will be able to achieve inflation moving back down to our target without the kind of really significant downturn that results in high levels of job losses that we've seen in some past instances, many past instances of tightening that look like ours. That's been my view. That's still my view, and I think that's sort of consistent with what I see today. So, but it's a long way from assured, and we have a lot left to go to see that happen. So the staff now has a noticeable slowdown in growth starting later this year in the forecast, but given the resilience of the economy recently, they are no longer forecasting a recession. I just want to note that that our staff produces its own forecast, which is independent of the forecast that we, as FOMC participants, produce. Having an independent staff forecast, as well as the individual participant forecast, is really a strength of our process. There's just a lot of, I think, constructive diversity of opinion that helps us make, informs our deliberations, helps us make, I hope, better decisions.
And is the reason for optimism that inflation has come down and you still have a strong labor market? I mean, does that add to the optimism?
I wouldn't use the term optimism about this yet. I would say, though, that there's a pathway, and yes, that's a good way to think about it.
Alrighty, guys. Do you guys think we should keep watching this? Anybody still entertained by what's going on here with Jerome Powell, or do you? I mean, if the market moves based on something that he says, we'll see the highlights from it. But at the end of the day, you know, like, is this really changing any of our investments in XRP, XLM? Probably not, right? So I think we're just going to move on here. I hope you guys enjoyed it, though, and I hope it was entertaining to some extent. You know, it's kind of like watching paint dry. I'm sure he says some interesting things, but it's a lot of circle talk as well. And, you know, we gotta keep going here because we got to end the stream soon. And I want to get to Gerald's video here that he's been spamming in the chat so we can show this to the Blue Crew here. All right, here we go.
Here in July, there seems to be some indications that we could possibly hit the point of the wealth transfer beginning this month. I realize there's only 11 days left. That's not a lot of time, but at the movement that this is moving in terms of activity and what's being exposed, things could move very rapidly. What I do expect in terms of some of the historical assets and revaluation of currencies is that some of that will take place during the quiet time. In other words, when the EBS happens, there's going to be stay in your homes. There's going to be 10 days of communication blackout, or at least that's what we're hearing. And there could be during that time, even appointments being made and transactions being done very quietly in the background. This will be all with heavy NDAs. No one's supposed to talk about their transactions, talk about where they get their money or anything like this. It's going to take some time to work through that. I think between now and let's say into September, or maybe late September, so the next 2 months plus, we could be seeing those things take place in the background. I think by the time we get into late September, it's going to be publicly in the face of everyone, hey, there's a financial change occurring here. I hate putting dates to anything, and you know, I want to just put a window out there. It is a 2023 thing, and this is all subject to change at any given day. So, you know, if it doesn't happen tomorrow, well, don't freak out. It is unfolding. And it will happen. Some of the things that we've been seeing over the last week here is train derailments continuing. We've had 3 additional quite nasty ones here in July.
Yeah, oh, okay. I guess you're a little. Click the live button, dude. We just checked out your video, Gerald. We just checked out your video. What's up, XRP King Duck? You watch articles? Wait, what? Emergency broadcast system. Are you responding to what this guy said, watching articles? Is that the 5D stuff I hear about? What's up, XRP King Duck? Guys, appreciate everybody tuning in. Sorry that Jerome Powell took up most of the stream here. We thought it would be some interesting stuff to just hear what he was talking about, but then it just went on way too long. We got to head out. Unfortunately, you guys, it's the end of the stream here. We'll jump into the deep reds later today if we do a late night DLT or crypto and beer live stream. We'll see how it goes. You know, hopefully we can get a second stream in today with y'all. But if not, we'll see you guys in the next one. We have shorts coming out as well on the channel. Always keep an eye out on those. But good to see XRP moving back up above 70 cents here. Let's see what ends up happening as it goes along. But much love to the Blue Crew. Much love to the Green Giants, the Ledger Citizens. Thanks to any new members, any subscribers to the channel. And thanks for any likes, of course, on the way out. You guys are amazing. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you. BTC community, XRP community, DLT community, crypto communities, Blue Crew, and all the communities out there. The future is distributed ledger technology, and the future is bright. Our future is bright. We got the eye of the tiger, and we keep it crypto. We'll see you guys in the lounge. Much love. Adios.
Look at the moon. Oh my god, this is definitely not normal.